Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a PhD student at INRIA Paris and the Environment and Climate Science Lab in Saclay. And I'm going to present my work on the geographical domain shift in satellite image time series-based tree species mapping with foundation models. So the idea is that we want to have better tree species maps to have a better carbon budget and also to make a better forest monitoring because trees are carbon sinks. The current limitation in tree species mapping is that we already use satellite image time series, but we have a big lack of labels and unified labels because all the datasets are really different. Semantically, the granularity is different, and so on. And we would like to be able to use those labels across areas because they are different and they do not have the same quality and so on. But there is no analysis of the spatial generalization of foundation models that we currently use to make those maps. So the challenge, if we take the same tree species, for example, we know that they grow differently depending on the environment. So here you can see that it's like the annual precipitation. I don't remember these ones, maybe the temperature, the elevation, I don't remember, and the pH. So it's pretty different between those three trees I showed. So it makes sense that the features will be different. The features from those foundation models will be different across those areas. So we may have unwanted spatial correlations that make the classification not good if we want to use those labels across areas. So we want to have pretty much invariant features that are spatially invariant. So our contribution are that we created the validation protocol to show the spatial generalization for the tree species mapping, training on in-domain area and testing on cross-domain. We benchmark some foundation models with this protocol. And to do so, we had to unify three tree species dataset. I won't talk much about that, but it was also a big work. So for the validation protocol, the idea is that we take whatever model, we're training on an in-domain area, so here France, for example, and we're going to test this model frozen on the cross-domain and on another one. Sorry. So we have the intuition that this model will be pretty good in the in-domain distribution, but will perform worse in the cross-domains. The data we used are three benchmark datasets and two benchmark datasets and a forest inventory in Poland that are already used in papers. Pure Forest in France, Trisatei in Germany, and Poland Forest Inventory. And as you can see, they have 13, 20, and 16 classes. And to be able to remove this problem of different labels, semantics, granularity, we had to unify those onto 6 classes. So to benchmark foundation models, we had to take encoder, we froze them, and we linear probe them. So we trained a linear layer on one domain, the in-domain. And then we tested, we froze the linear layer as well as the encoder, and we tested it on the cross-domain and on another one. So for the results, first we can see that in-domain, the models perform pretty okay. I need to say also that we only used foundation models that were using satellite image time series because they will perform better to follow the phenology of the trees, so it makes sense to use them. So in domain they are pretty good, but then when we test those models that are trained, for example, on Pure Forest, the model, the dataset in France, and we test it on Germany or Poland, we see that we have pretty bad results. So we have a low generalization ratio, and we have a drop of 20 to 31% of accuracy. So that's make the usage of the labels of PRRS of a model with the labels of PRRS in France not usable on other areas like Poland or Germany. Here we can see, so this was one example of train test, but we can do it on the other way. So training on Poland and testing on PRRS or TRISAT AI, training on TRISAT AI, testing on PRRS and Poland. And if we average everything, we can see that we always have this drop. But we have a better result depending on which dataset is the training one and those that are the tested ones. That might come from the different datasets semantics, like they are not really, the unification is pretty hard to do. And also, for example, I can have specific species of fears in one dataset that I won't have in another one. So it's pretty hard for the models to understand the pretty clear definition of one species. So we have a spatial generalization. So what I'm working on right now is to address the spatial domain shift, because we want to do, for example, three-species maps all over Europe using, for example, the labels of only pure forest. So ideas would be to use, for example, the auxiliaries, because as I've shown, we know that trees grow differently in function of their environment. And historically, they have been used in, for example, machine learning models to make tree species maps. And in recent models, we have seen that people are using again auxiliaries as targets during pre-training, so that might be interesting. And also we could do, for example, disentangling, so trying to remove spurious correlation from the feature, so the feature that we don't want to keep, that we think are making the model performing bad between the areas. So, for example, trying to remove the lat-long knowledge of the features and just dropping it. That's it. I lost my conclusion slide, but yeah, sorry. We have time for several questions. I have one with respect to your last point on the use of auxiliary data. I think actually Presto includes some of the auxiliary data as input. Yes, as input. So, and what we see from the results is that actually this is the worst performing model. So, no, I didn't use Presto with the inputs. Okay. So they are all tested with the same inputs, which is Sentinel-2 time series. I should have said that. Because, for example, Alice and Inside, they take S1 data as well as S2. And to test all the models the same way, I took only Sentinel-2. But Presto has the lat-long as input. So. And maybe follow-up question on this. So how do you explain the differences in this performance? I mean, do you have any explanation for this ranking of the approach? Is it due to the size of the model? Yeah, the training data? They are ranked between their sizes. Okay. And I mean, Presto is pretty simple compared to AnySat, for example, and AnySat has been trained on a lot of different modalities, and that's the concept of AnySat. So I think it got knowledge on a lot of interesting features for tree species. Yeah. Some information. So, just a question. I think AnySat was also trained on many forests, like on TRISAT AI. Yes, they use TRISAT AI and maybe Pure Forest as input for the training. It was there like this.
I was wondering if you could maybe put up a strategy where you mix the databases and extract some random samples for training and then for testing. That's
so concatening the three
Yes,
datasets.
yes.
So I tried this to train on the 3 and test on 1, for example, and it was not really working well still. Because I think we also have a problem of semantics behind that.
Have you done any experiments on with fine tuning? Because maybe this drop can be also explained because the linear layer is not able to generalize. But maybe if you make the model like more task specific, and then you freeze it to test on cross domain, maybe the drop will not be as high as this one.
I didn't try with like fine-tuning the whole model and freezing it, but I tried with MLP instead of a linear layer, and it was the same.
Oh.
So the idea is that it's a problem of the feature, and also it's a bigger work to retrain all the models. I would have to have the same data for everyone.
We still have time for one more question.
Thanks for the talk. Do you have an idea on how you could reach this entanglement?
Yes, so and I don't have the.
Sorry.
Oh.
We'll come back to it.
I think I don't have the slide for it. But the idea would be for now, is to have GANs. So to remove the lat long, to take the feature out of the model, and to have a discriminator to try to classify, to predict the lat long with part of the feature, and then to have a discriminator that the encoder will try to fool. So the discriminator tries to guess which are the right couples between the lat long part of the features and the tree-species feature.
Yeah.
That's one of the ideas.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.